Your activewear brand is failing because customers do not buy because they like a product. They buy when they stop doubting the brand and the product. And online, especially for a D2C, a direct to consumer business, this is the entire game. Because you can have a great product page, but if your products do not scream to the customers that this is a trustable brand, that you can take a chance on me, what's going to happen is they're going to go into their animalistic brain and they're going to go into fight or flight mode, and most likely they're going to think about it later and leave. This is one of the biggest mistakes that brands can make, is assuming that a product speaks for itself just on its own. It doesn't ultimately. In person, someone can actually come to your store, touch the fabric, see the fit, and speak to you one-on-one. Online, a customer is generating a decision based off of limited feedback and data, and you're not in front of them to be able to help guide them along that decision, whereas you might be in person. So you need to know how you build that customer trust online. And on today's episode, we'll be going through the key things that ultimately build trust so that you can actually get customers to go from, I'll think about it later, to, let me take out my credit card and make that purchase. So how to do that? Well, my name is Shadi Adada. I'm the co-founder and creative director of FittDesign. And over the last 10 years, we have worked with literally thousands of brands to take them from an idea to a physical product in under 30 days. And I've learned a thing or two by helping launch these brands of what it takes to build up that trust right off the bat. Number one is that customers do not trust products. They actually trust proof behind the products. Proof can come in a variety of ways. A product by itself is not inherently trusted. A product becomes trusted when the brand is able to generate enough proof around it. And what this means is that ultimately it makes the customer understand the product. And secondly, it reduces the risk of the customer buying the product. Because you can have two brands that are ultimately selling these same leggings, these same hoodies, and the same shorts, but one ultimately converts better than the other. Why is that? Usually it's not because the product itself is dramatically better. It's because one brand has been able to give the customer better proof. So the question isn't, is my product good? The question is, have I given someone enough reasons to believe that this is a great product and to get them to trust to make a purchasing decision? Number two, in order to build up that proof, customers actually need to see what your product looks like, and they don't need to have to fill in the gaps. And this sounds quite obvious, but I cannot tell you the amount of brands that I've seen this get this wrong. A customer needs to see the real product, not just a polished version of it or some sort of abstracted version of it. This means that we need to see all of the views of the product through your distribution channels, whether it's on your Instagram, on your TikTok, on your Snapchat, and most importantly on your website, which is where people are going to come to purchase. This means we need to have at least on your website and on the product page a front view, a back view, a side view, close-up details of the main selling points like the drawstrings, the fabric, the trims. We need to have normal, consistent lighting. We need to have an on-body fit, and we need to have ultimately some semblance of still shots and non-dramatic poses that ultimately block the view of the customer to the product. Why this matters is that customers are not only looking for beauty, they're looking for a real-world semblance of trust. They're looking for the confirmation that the decision they're about to take is going to be the right decision. Number three is that customers don't just need fit proof, they need real-world sizing and real-world measurements. So instead of just giving them a sizing chart that has generic numbers that most customers aren't going to understand, and most customers aren't going to be bothered to take out a measuring tape and to follow your instructions and to measure on themselves, they need to know what the product looks like when worn on body by a specific body type. This means that at the very minimum, they need to understand things like the model height, the model size, the model weight. They need to understand how fitted or how relaxed the garment is. They need to understand whether the garment inherently runs true to size, whether it runs small or whether it runs oversized. They need to understand the key areas that it's going to be fitted in, like the waist, the hips, the shoulders, the sleeves, and how those measurements correspond. Because the fear online isn't what is the waist measurement, right? The fear online is ultimately what is this going to look like on me? What is it going to look like if it feels too tight or too loose? Will it sit weird? Will the collar flatter my body? All of those things come in. And static measurements alone give you part of the story, but they don't give you the full story, which is why customers are making a decision confidently when they can see a still standing pose that is natural. They want to see some form of movement in some of the imagery or some of the videos to see how the fabric pulls, how it performs, and they ultimately want to see how the garment falls on the body and where it hits on the hips, on the waist, especially in activewear. Fit is everything, because if you buy a shirt and you feel even slightly uncomfortable in it, then you're going to write that off as a viable option. Number 4, they need to understand how a fabric looks and feels, not just what it is. If I tell you a fabric is 90% nylon, 10% spandex, you have learned nothing about this fabric other than the composition. If I tell you a fabric is premium, premium means different things to different people. Saying things like soft, breathable can actually mean quite little, because if a customer cannot contextualize what effect this end feature is having, then they cannot make use of it. What they want to know is if it's sleek or if it's brushed. That gives them a semblance for the hand touch. They want to know if it's lightweight, if it's airy, or if it's dense. They want to know if it has a dry hand feel or if it has a soft peached hand feel. They want to know if it feels supportive and compressive or feels relaxed and loose. They want to know if it's matte or if it's shiny. All of those things give it an indication of a real-world performance of the fabric. And ultimately, people are imagining how the fabric is going to look and feel simply by what they see through your imagery. And if there's a disconnect between the perception that they have and what they receive, this is where trust is completely broken. Strong brands have a very grounded way of showing close-up texture shots of the fabric. They want to show movement videos of how the fabric performs, stretch and recovery clips, especially for high-performance garments. They want to have clear descriptions of the hand feel, the performance, and they want to have honest context about the use case scenario of the end fabric. Number 5 is that they want to see performance, not just styling. A customer wants to know beyond if a fabric is going to look good in a photo. They want to know what it's going to do. They want to know, can they actually train in it? They want to know, does the fabric stay in place when I'm moving? Does it move well with my body? Does it look supportive? Is it less secure? Is it opaque? Does it feel like it was actually built for the use I'm going to put it through? This is why movement proof in fabrics matters so much, because activewear customers will trust when they see a legging in motion. They can see how the fabric folds and how it creases on key sensitive areas like the knees, the crotch, the hips. They're going to see how a sportswear performs and how it supports on their movement and pressure. They're going to see how shorts ride up and where they sit under actual movement and lunges. They're going to understand how a top behaves when the arms are raised and if it reveals anything that shouldn't be revealed. They're going to understand if the waistband falls over when the movement is put forth. All of those things build trust with the customer. Number 6 is that they need detail proof, because the details show customers that you are oriented towards the smaller things. The things that other brands might miss, you don't. That does a lot with trust building. So customers are inherently going to look for and notice things like seam quality, zipper finish, waistband construction, pocket placement, print finish. If it's cracking on your photos, that's a big no-no. Print placement, if you have misaligned logos on your garments in your photos. Label placement, trim consistency. If you have 4 different garments and each garment has a different woven label, different size, there's just something that feels inherently off about that. Detail proof ultimately matters because it helps customers answer the core question: did this brand actually think through the details? This is a big trust equation, especially for newer startups that don't have the inherent trust and credibility built up with their customers. Number 7 is that you need to have social proof. This is where it makes a brand feel rooted in context and reality. People trust what other people trust. And this is where social proof comes in. And ultimately, the strongest social proof is in reviews that don't feel generic, but feel very specific. I much rather see a video of someone showing me how this specific product fits in their day-to-day than a generic Google review that is just using superfluous terms that don't really relate to the use case scenario of the product. I want to see photos from real customers with their own images taken in their homes, taken in places that I know are authentic and that they're sharing their own honest feedback. I want to know that there are repeat comments about the things that they love. I'd much rather see repeated comments about a fit that really works well rather than seeing one glowing review of perfect fit and silence from others. It's that consistency that I can see that shows me a product is hitting the mark multiple times. I want to see proof that people have actually bought and worn the product and liked the product, not just influencer reviews. Number 8 is that customers want to trust, but they also want a fallback option to know what would happen if they are wrong. If customers actually take a leap of faith with your brand, and mistakes happen. Listen, even the best brands online make mistakes. They want to know if that they got it wrong, that they're going to be supported. Every customer will look at the review and try to understand the fit, the fabric, and trust the image. But the last question is, what happens if I order and it's not right? I made a miscalculation. This is where being clear on your policies about your shipping timelines, your return policies, your exchange policies, your customer service matter. Customers want to know that if something goes wrong, that they're going to be supported. If a customer doesn't feel safe when buying, it usually comes down to knowing or not knowing when it ships, not knowing what happens if the sizing is off, not knowing whether exchanges are simple, straightforward, and fast, and ultimately not knowing whether your brand representatives and your customer service are fast and responsive. Ultimately, guys, last but not least is the simple framework that you need to carry through with you to build up that trust consistently is 5 main things. Number 1 is you always need to showcase what the product truly looks like. Second, showcase what the product truly fits like. Third, you want to showcase how the fabric actually behaves. You want to, fourth, showcase how does the product actually perform in real use. And fifth, you need to give your customer reassurance of what happens if something goes wrong, which inevitably, no matter what brand you are, you're going to make a mistake. You answer those 5 things and you will have built the trust with your customer from the ground up. It's easy to lose trust, but very difficult to build trust. So follow these frameworks and you'll be well on your way. If you guys want to learn more about how you can build a brand from the ground up that is designed to sell and take your idea for your activewear products and turn them to a physical reality in under 30 days, you can check the link in the description to apply to work with me and my team at FittDesign one-on-one. We'll get back to you in literally under 2 hours with a clear production roadmap on how you can take your idea and turn it into something physical. And guys, I say this from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Fit Design TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.